Do you constantly worry that the people you care about will leave you? Do you overthink every text, replay every interaction, and feel panicked when someone pulls away? You might not be too much. You might just have an anxious attachment style. And once you understand it, you can begin to heal it. This isn't about blame. It's about understanding your wiring. Because when you understand, you can stop shaming yourself for feeling too emotional. You can start seeing your sensitivity as intelligence, not weakness. And you can stop confusing anxiety with love. So many of us are trying to regulate an entire nervous system through someone else's presence. We think, if they love me, I'll finally feel okay. But true safety begins with how we love ourselves. Understanding your attachment style is the first step in breaking cycles that no longer serve you. You're not dramatic, you've just never felt secure. And once you realize that, you can choose differently. You can move from chasing connection to creating it. You can move from fear to self-trust.
What is anxious attachment?
Anxious attachment is a pattern that usually starts in childhood. It often forms when love felt inconsistent, like it was sometimes there and sometimes not. Maybe your caregivers were emotionally unavailable, hot and cold, or made you feel like you had to earn affection. So you learned to scan for danger in relationships. You learned that love isn't safe. It's something you have to chase. And now as an adult, you might feel insecure unless you get constant reassurance. Become hyper-focused on your partner's moods. Blame yourself if someone pulls away. Fear abandonment even in safe relationships. Anxious attachment is rooted in fear. Fear of being left, of being not enough, of not being lovable unless you're perfect. But here's the truth. You are not broken. You're not needy. You're responding to a nervous system that learned love isn't reliable. Your body remembers what your mind tried to forget. That's why even small distance can feel like rejection. Your heart may long for connection, but your body braces for loss. You might apologize when you've done nothing wrong. You might cling to people who don't treat you well. You might stay in relationships longer than you should just to avoid being alone. This isn't about weakness. It's about survival patterns that once protected you. But what once kept you safe might now be keeping you stuck. Awareness is the first act of self-love. Naming the pattern is the start of releasing it. And when you begin to understand yourself with compassion, everything changes. You no longer fight your needs, you learn how to meet them. And that's the foundation of secure love. How it shows up. Anxious attachment can show up in subtle ways. You might feel anxious if someone doesn't reply quickly. You might make yourself smaller to avoid conflict. You might constantly seek validation, but still feel unsure even when you get it. You may attach quickly, idealize people early on, and struggle to feel okay when you're alone. You may think, if they leave, what did I do wrong? Or, I just need to fix myself and they'll come back. You're constantly trying to manage other people's perception of you, hoping to avoid rejection. But in doing so, you abandon your own needs. And what looks like clinginess on the outside is often just a scared inner child trying not to lose connection. You may confuse intensity with intimacy. You may sacrifice your boundaries to keep someone close. You may tolerate emotional crumbs and call it love. You might replay conversations for hours, analyzing what you said wrong. You might feel physically unwell during conflict or silence. You might even sabotage peace because it feels unfamiliar. Sometimes you don't want love, you want relief from anxiety. And that's okay to admit, because only then can you begin to shift it. When you stop chasing clarity through others, you begin creating it within. And that is where the healing truly begins. How to heal it. Healing anxious attachment isn't about being chill. It's about building safety in your own body. Start with awareness. Notice the triggers without judgment. Then offer yourself what you've been asking others to give you. Reassurance, care, presence. Practice nervous system regulation. Breathwork, grounding, self-soothing. Remind yourself, I am safe. I am enough even when someone is distant. Start noticing when you abandon yourself to stay connected. Choose to come back home to you. Build secure relationships, but don't expect them to fix the fear. Let them support the healing you're already doing. Anxious attachment isn't your identity, it's a response. And every time you show up with more self-trust, you rewire that response. You are not too much. You are not unlovable. You are healing. And you are already enough. Regulate before you relate. That's how you change the pattern. Speak to yourself like someone you deeply love. Give your body what it never got, consistent reassurance. Write down your triggers, track your spirals, and remind yourself, this is old pain trying to protect me. You don't need to argue with it, you need to soothe it. Connect with people who feel emotionally safe. Learn to receive without guilt. And when the fear comes up, say, This is just the old story. I'm writing a new one. You don't have to prove your worth anymore. You never did. Your next steps. Healing takes time. Be gentle with yourself. You've been wired for survival, and now you're learning how to feel safe in connection. Notice when your body tenses, when your thoughts race, when your instinct is to chase or fix. That's a cue, not a failure. Replace the question, how do I make them stay, with, how can I stay with myself right now? Your presence with your own emotions is the healing. You deserve relationships where love doesn't feel like a test. You deserve to rest in connection, not work for it every second. Some days you'll still feel anxious. That doesn't mean you're not healing. It means you're meeting your patterns with more awareness than ever before. And the more you practice staying with yourself, the more natural it becomes. Love won't feel like chasing. It will feel like breathing. The goal isn't to never be triggered. It's to learn how to respond, not react. Give yourself permission to pause before spiraling. Remind yourself that emotions are temporary, but your self-trust can be constant. Start creating rituals that ground you. A walk, a mantra, a journal check-in. Celebrate small wins, like choosing not to send that anxious text. Every time you return to yourself, you reinforce safety. You don't need to be perfect to be loved. You just need to be present. Progress is measured in your compassion, not in how calm you can appear. This journey isn't about becoming someone new. It's about returning to who you were before fear taught you to chase love. Say it with me. I am worthy of love that feels safe. I am allowed to take up space without fear. My needs are not a burden. I don't have to earn love through performance. I can stay present with myself even in uncertainty. And I am learning to trust that love won't disappear just because I'm human. I no longer have to abandon myself to be loved. I choose to return to my own safety again and again. Even when I feel scared, I'm still whole. Even when I'm healing, I am still lovable. Even when I doubt, I am still growing. My worth isn't tied to someone else's presence. My peace doesn't depend on someone's reply. I trust that the love meant for me will not require self-abandonment. I trust myself to stay. I trust love to feel steady. And I'm not just surviving anymore. I am learning how to live connected, secure, and free.